everybody, welcome back to episode 11 of the Pan American series. Today we're going to be departing from Concepción, Chile here. We're going to be going about a little less than 200 nautical miles to the northeast. We'll actually be crossing over the mountains here today, and we're going to be going to Malargüe, Argentina. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, we'll be going into Argentina today, and should be a pretty scenic flight over the mountains. We will be going back to Chile, I believe, after this leg, but just kind of dipping over here. We have 3 passengers that needed to get over here, so trying to keep, taking jobs along this route. So, instead of making a beeline straight for Santiago, we're kind of coming over this way a little bit, but by the next leg, we should be getting over to Santiago, so should be fine. And also we have our alternate up here, so if for any reason we can't get into Malargüe for weather or whatever other reasons it might be, then we have our alternate up here in Mendoza, Argentina. And as you might be able to tell already, and you'll really be able to tell when we zoom out here, we don't have the rest of the route loaded in. That's because basically it was just making it kind of really cluttered to kind of pinpoint exactly where we were on the map. So I figure this way, when we zoom out, you still have, the idea of what we're doing on the map, but you don't need to see the full route, and that way you can see, by the waypoints here, kind of exactly where we are on the map. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 11. We're here on the ground in Concepción, Chile. You can see the windsock over there. There's a pretty decent wind going, so that'll be fun on departure. But yeah, we're just here on the ramp with the Aerostar where we left off last time. Gonna be doing just a quick little walk around, just kind of check the control surfaces and everything, get the chocks and the pitot cover off and everything, and check the oils, and then we'll get loaded up and get going with things. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. I've been enjoying making it. I would like to try to get onto a better schedule. I know you guys don't necessarily see it on your end, but the actual recording and editing schedule for me is a little hectic sometimes, so currently working on kind of fleshing out a better schedule for myself. And that way, hopefully, I don't end up having any gaps in my episodes. Right, fuel's looking good there in the left tank. Flaps are holding in their position there, that's good. Got the fuel in there as well. Make sure that this baggage door is closed and locked. Elevator's good. Rudder looks good. Flap on this side's looking alright. And the sail around looks good. And yep, we've visually got fuel in there, so that's good. Check the oil on this engine. It's looking all right. All right, other than some bugs there, which are dirtying up the plane a little bit, everything else seems to be in pretty good order. Tires don't look flat or anything, nothing obstructing this engine. Propellers don't have any cracks that I can see in them, so yeah, we're gonna get loaded up. All right, here we are loaded up in the cockpit. Just gonna go ahead and start getting things set up. So I do actually, I usually use the checklist that's on the iPad or the tablet or whatever here. Our legally distinct, non-branded tablet. But I do have a printed checklist that I think I'm going to start using just for a little bit easier readability for me, as well as just a little bit quicker for me to read it than trying to read it on the screen. So it might vary a little bit from the one that's in the tablet, but this is usually the one that I had been using before I actually started recording this series. So we'll see how that goes. I might have to make some changes to it potentially. But yeah, pre-flight's been completed. Control locks are removed. The controls are free. The parking brake is verified set. Flaps are up. Radios and all switches are off. Circuit breakers are all in and looking good. Master switch comes on. Gear lights are 3 green. Hydraulic valve comes to open. Fuel quantity checked, so we've got about 40 gallons in the fuselage tank and about 50 gallons in each side, so about 140 gallons, which I do believe is what we have. Interesting. Okay, so we actually have 160 gallons loaded in. So see, that's one thing that these gauges, they only go up to 50 gallons, but you can actually load about 60-ish in each side. So obviously some of that's not usable. That would be why there would be a difference there. But so basically, long story short, we've got basically full tanks today, as well as 3 passengers. So you can see that our where is it here? Our total weight, almost 5,400 pounds. Max takeoff's 5,500, so we'll be pretty well loaded going over the mountains. So that's something to just keep in mind. Obviously, our performance will be a little bit affected by that. So yeah, and obviously it's a little warmer today as well. With it being almost 60 degrees Fahrenheit here on the ground. I think on the last leg, it was like closer to 40 if I remember correctly. So performance will be a little bit less today, but still, I've flown the Aerostar fully loaded before. It should have no problem handling this. Yeah, fuel quantities checked, full tanks, essentially. And now the rotating beacon light can come on. Now for engine start, props are full forward. Mixtures are idle cutoff, so the throttle's at about half. Fuel selectors can go to on, which I guess I left them on. Oops. Basically just cycle them to on, then to cross feed, then back to on, just to make sure that you can hear them all, cycling the tanks and everything. Right, then we have the aux hydraulic pump, which we want to test. So we have our hydraulic pressure over here. Turn on the auxiliary hydraulic pump. Pressure should increase, which it does, up to 1,000. So we see that that's working. That's good. That can be turned back off. Right, then the right fuel pump should come on. Fuel flow increases, which is good. Mixture goes full rich for 4 to 5 seconds. So that was about 5 seconds. Bring the throttle back to about there. That looks good. Prop area is clear on the right. There's nobody out there. Start the right engine. Bring it back to 1,000 RPM or thereabouts. Oil pressure, looking good. Oil temperature is coming up. Got fuel pressure, got gyro suction on the right hand side. fuel flow, RPM, manifold pressure, everything's looking good. Right alternator can come on. We're going to close this door. Alright, the hydraulic pressure, yep, is looking good. Alright, so the right fuel pump can come off. Mixture, we'll lean it now for ground ops. Okay, about there should be good. And then the right alternator we've already turned on. Check. Okay, yep, we've got at least 28 volts on the right, so that should be good. Right, so now we will just repeat the process for the left side. Oops, accidentally bumped our right mixture there. Okay, so boost pump comes on. Mixture full rich, let it prime. Back to cut off, bring the throttle back to about there. Should be good. Good start on the left. Set that engine at 1,000 RPM as well. Oil pressure's looking good. Fuel flow's looking good. Suction's good. Temperatures are good. All these are good. Oh, yeah. Trying to check the alternator before we have it turned on. Boost pump comes off. And then now, left alternator. It's over 28 volts. Alright. All that looks pretty good. Okay, just gonna look at our taxi chart here really quick. So we'll probably do the run up on the ramp before we taxi. Be best. So we'll actually go ahead and wait for the engines to warm up, and while we're doing that, we'll get our flight plan put in, and we will call up for our clearance delivery. First, let's put our headphones on. Alright, I'm going to put the nav lights on as well. I guess we don't really need them right now, so that's fine. Turn on the avionics master. Temperature in here is 60, so I'm just going to leave the vents open for now. Obviously, once we start climbing, especially over the mountains, we'll want to close the vents and get some heat on. I forgot to lean our left mixture here. Excuse me. Let's just do that now. Alright, one thing we will pull up here, let's pull up our sim brief dispatch. We want to view our flight plan, which we have here. Go ahead and enter this in now. So there's our departure right there, that looks good. And our arrival. We're going to be departing on this Vumi 2 kilo departure. We're assuming runway 20. We've not been cleared yet. And transition is none, so that's fine. Which looks like the last waypoint. On this, it looks like you intercept a vector here, and then it's direct to Vomit, which is this next waypoint. Anyways, so that's fine. So we'll load that departure. And then after that, we go direct to Ancon. Ancon. 129 nautical miles, and then it's direct to our arrival in Malargüe. Malargüe, however you say it. Still not too sure. And just zooming out here, we can see this appears to be correct. Right, everything checks out. We got our flight plan entered. Going to switch this over to GPS here. Heading mode is already switched to GPSS, which actually switch it back to heading mode for now. Yeah, otherwise we should be good to go. So we will just get our radio set up, and then we will call clearance for our IFR clearance. Ariel Star Ground, Aerostar number 702 Sierra Bravo. We're ready to copy IFR to Malargüe. Engine temperatures have come up.
Aerostar November 702 Sierra Bravo, Concepción Ground, clear to Martin via the Vomit 2 kilo departure, radar vectors Vomit then as filed. Runway 20, initial climb to 3000, departure on 125.8, squawk 4211.
Clear to Malargüe via the Vomit 2 kilo departure, radar vectors Vomit then is filed. Expecting runway 20, initial climb to 3,000 feet, departure 125.8, and we're squawking 4211, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, read back correct.
Alright, got our read back correct, flight plan was good, so everything should good to go here. Just switch this to traffic for now. And get ready for our run-up checklist. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we will call for taxi. So we're basically positioned into the wind, so that's fine. Parking brake set. Our fuel quantity is checked. Fuel selectors, good. Mixtures are lean for ground ops as required. Throttles, yep, we've warmed the engines up to 1500. Alright, cylinder head temps are good. Oil pressure is good, fuel pressure good. Oil temperature is good. Right, everything there is good. All our voltages are good. Cycle the props. Basically, we want to see the RPM drop and the manifold pressure increase. So it's looking okay. Numbering the throttles to 2100 RPM, and we'll do our mag check. Alright, so we'll do the right engine first. Right engine, right mag. About 100. Back to both. A little bit more on the left mag there. Alright, now the left engine. Right mag, okay, that's almost a 200 drop, so... And that's the same for both on the left engine, so... We'll make sure we have that mixture. Leaned out where it needs to be. Sorry about that, folks. Had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. I muted my mic to cough and get a drink, and apparently didn't unmute it. So, yeah, basically what happened there was we were just trying to lean the mixture a little bit more on the left engine, because during the mag check I noticed that the left engine, both mags were dropping more than they should have been. So the right engine was fine, so we brought it back to idle, let the left engine run a little bit, leaned for a little bit longer there at 2100 RPM, and then we checked the left mags again, and it looked fine. So yeah, we've completed the run-up checklist now, and yeah, now we're going to call up ground for taxi. Conception ground, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, ready to taxi IFR.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, runway 20, taxi via Alpha.
Runway 20, taxi via Alpha, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Right, so runway 20, so we'll actually be departing to the south. So basically we'll be departing the opposite direction that we flew in last time. And just nice and easy, Alpha all the way to the end. So, probably back taxi a little bit. I guess we could have did a run up down there. They have a little turnaround area at the end of 20, but honestly we'll just depart from Alpha. Plenty of runway, even at almost max takeoff weight, we should have plenty of space. So 62 degrees in here, so it's actually maybe a little bit warm, so I'll even turn the fan on to low. And let's see the outside temperature, so it's actually slowly increasing just a little bit, it looks like. Alright, we've got our landing line on, nav lights on, and we'll just turn the cabin fan on, although I'm going to be honest, I think that might be heat fan only. I'm not 100% sure. So, which once we take off, we'll need some heat anyways, because this, as we climb, especially get over the mountains, that temperature we'll see will decrease pretty rapidly. So, right, release the parking brake here. Test our toe brakes. Get a little bit of nose wheel steering here to the right. Make as sharp of a turn as we can. Obviously, probably could have turned a little sharper, but it's, you know, as I said before, it's very hard in the Aerostar with this nose wheel steering. I feel like to get kind of a good grasp on how far you're going to turn before the nose wheel kind of gets back to center. I don't know if that's actually prototypical to the Aerostar, or if it like immediately kind of spring loads back to center and it's just how I have my controls set up, or maybe it's a combination of both. I did set up a two-way, or I mean really it's a center neutral position switch on some of my hardware, and then it's got a button press on either side, or on, you know, on the top and the bottom of the switch, and then normally it sits in between those two positions, so you can either press it up or down. I have that bound to my nose wheel steering, which is looks like it's similar to how this switch would be. But the thing is, I bound it how it is in the how they kind of described to do it in the manual, so I'm assuming that it's set up correctly, and I'm assuming it's just a skill issue on my part, really, of you know, knowing how to use the nose wheel steering. I would argue that we should have parked down here last time, which I tried. For those of you who did not watch the last episode, I tried to get them to let us taxi down here and park down here, but they weren't having it, so. We'll zoom in here on our little taxi map. Not that we really need it at this point, it's just a straight shot down to the end of the runway. GPS is showing 11 knot winds from the south, roughly. Which, look at the windsock here and see how that matches up. Excuse me. And we'll do our taxi checklist. So the radio master's on. Check the ammeter. The radios are on. Engine monitor is good. Frequencies we've got set up, which we'll have to put in the tower frequency here shortly. Flight plan set. The transponder is on altitude reporting. Auto trim. I tested that earlier. Actually, I tested the autopilot, but we'll leave it flipping on and get it set up here before we get onto the runway. Heading indicator set once we get on the runway, but it's about 200 heading. Altimeter is set. Nav lights are on, parking brake released, brakes and steering are tested, flight instruments have been checked. So yeah, we're showing about 006-ish there, and yep, that about lines up on the compass, so we're good there. We've already did our run up. So let's do our before takeoff checklist. Do we have any traffic behind us? Not current. Just do our before takeoff so the controls are free and correct. The door is locked. Elevator trim. This recommends 1 bar up for takeoff. Let's see how that works. I usually neutralize it, but we'll do 1 bar up for this checklist. The rudder trim's neutral. Flaps will set for 20 degrees. Oops. Alright, that's about 20 degrees. Fuel pumps can come on. Props are full forward. Engine gauges we've checked. We'll check them again. Everything's in the green, looking good. You don't prop heat, test and as required. Heat can come on. Prop de-ice. See there, it seems to be working. We'll leave that off. We'll wait to turn the strobes and landing lights on once we get out on the runway. So tower is 118.6. And we'll taxi up to the old short line here. And I actually just want to get our autopilot set up real quick here. So, we're on heading mode. I'm going to set this directly ahead of us, just so I can set the, will this actually set while we're in attitude? Oh no, okay. That's fine. Okay, 63 degrees in here. I'm gonna close this vent just preemptively. Again, the passenger headphones, I never noticed that before. Just gonna preemptively throw the cabin heat on low. And just pull on the tiniest smidge of heat. Conception Tower, Aerostar number 702 Sierra Bravo, ready to go, runway 20.
Aerostar November 702 Sierra Bravo, Concepción Tower, runway 20, winds 190 at 11, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Alright, strobes on, landing lights on, fuel pumps are on, flaps are set. Pictures can come to full rich. If they're on my heading, we'll just look for a heading bug. Let's go flying. Takeoff power set. Rotate. Brakes. Gears coming up. Flaps can come up. Right, autopilot master's coming on.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, contact departure.
Over to departure, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Right, we're climbing now. We'll bring our power back to 24 squared. Okay, and then we need to get some more climb because we're wanting to climb at about 120. But I accidentally had the attitude hold engaged. Alright, let's contact departure. Departure, Aerostar number 702 Sierra Bravo, climbing through 2000 for 3000.
Aerostar November 70, 2 Sierra Bravo, Concepción radar contact, climb flight level 130, turn left heading 065, vectors to vomit, then on course.
Turn left heading 065, vectors to vomit, then on course, and climb and maintain flight level 130, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Alright, they cleared us up to 130, so definitely want to get that climb speed established.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 170.
Climb flight level 170, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Oh, I don't know if we should be climbing that high. I did look at the charts. I didn't see any mountains that were quite that high that necessitated climbing that high. I knew we'd have to climb up to like maybe about 11 or 12,000.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Contact Santiago Center on 123.8.
Santiago Center 123.8. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Santiago Center, Aerostar number 702 Sierra Bravo, 3,800 for flight level 170. I don't think we're going to climb to 170.
Aerostar November 702 Sierra Bravo. Santiago Center identified. Good afternoon, Concepción QNH 1024.
QNH 1024, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. So I don't have a handy conversion for that. I'm not that quick with math, so I'm just going to update our altimeter, the hotkey, while we're flying in South America. Fuel pumps can come off as we're above 1,000 feet AGL, and we've got to start our stopwatch. That's alright. We don't necessarily need it.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Direct vomit. Then as filed, please.
Direct vomit, then is filed. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Direct 2 vomit. Activate. GPSS. We're climbing. Santiago Center, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. We'd like to request flight level 150, please.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Climb flight level 150.
Climbing to flight level 150, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. To make it a little bit easier on us. Decrease our rate of climb here a little bit. Want a little bit of heat. Make sure the vents are closed all the way because it's getting a little bit cool in here. About 57 degrees. Fan on high. We'll see if we can't get it warmed back up in here for our passengers today. And yeah, we'll have them put on their nasal oxygen little masks as we climb over these mountains. Hope everyone has been enjoying the series so far. As always, if you guys have any comments, feedback, suggestions, etc. on this series or anything else here on the channel, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And feel free to subscribe if you haven't, if you want to stay tuned and get notifications whenever I release a new episode. Try to release an episode once a week, usually Sundays at noon Central Time. Hoping to stick with that schedule, and we're hoping, obviously I haven't done the math, I don't know for sure if we're going to be able to do it, but the goal is to try to get to Alaska.
Sierra Bravo. Climb flight level 170.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, we'd like to request cruising altitude decrease to flight level 150, please. They might not let us.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 150.
Climbing to flight level 150, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. There's almost 12,000 feet.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 170.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo is unable to climb flight level 170.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 150.
Climbing flight level 150, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 170.
Unable flight level 170, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. So we're not even climbing. It's hardly any rate at all, and we're honestly below 120. Alright, just waiting for this last 1,500 feet. And then we will get leveled off here.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, please expedite your climb to flight level 170.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, we'd like to request a cruising altitude decrease to flight level 150, unable flight level 170.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 150.
Climbing to flight level 150, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. I think we're just gonna have back and forth the whole flight about this.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 170.
This is not gonna be productive. So I can't climb to 170. Santiago Center, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, our max cruise altitude is flight level 150.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 150.
Climbing flight level 150, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. I don't want to have to get like forceful with the air traffic control, but it's not seeming to register what I'm telling it, you know, that this is like the max kind of that we can do. I mean, we're already struggling to make it up to here, so. I mean, look, we're barely climbing 100 feet per minute. So, I mean, we are just creeping along. But we are heavily loaded. So, I don't actually even know for sure if we'll be able to sustain this, this cruising altitude because, you know, we're barely climbing and our speed is still not increased. So we really got to watch that speed because obviously, you know, if that speed starts coming back anymore, I mean, we need to potentially reduce.
Climb flight level 170.
Okay, we're gonna have to see if we can be a little bit forceful with the AI air traffic control and convince it to stop asking to increase our cruise altitude. Which, I mean, I don't, you know, want to have to do that, but because it feels a little unprofessional, but if it's going to keep asking. Santiago Center, hi, this is Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Could you please stop asking us to increase our climb to flight level 170? We're unable to climb past flight level 150 and have advised you several times.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 150.
climbing to flight level 150, best rate of climb. At this time, unable to expedite any further. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Usually the AI is pretty good with being like a little suggestible to modifying things if you ask it, or you know, if you tell it like, hey, I absolutely can't do this thing, or whatever. It's usually pretty good about it, but haven't noticed that before with like cruise altitudes. But I've also never been in a scenario yet with the Aerostar where I was cruising at this level. So we shall see.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, climb flight level 170.
It's gonna be the whole flight. It's gonna be the whole flight. Might make a small cut here because I don't want to include me having to kind of bully the air traffic control. So I'll come back to you guys hopefully shortly once we get leveled off at 150, which will be our final cruise altitude. Either way, if we have to, we'll cancel IFR if they keep asking. But I think finally maybe it's done asking me to keep climbing. So hopefully that's the case, but we shall see. Okay, we're literally basically almost leveled off, and we're still not even gaining airspeed. Of course, we haven't pulled the props back yet. Maybe that will help a little bit. I'm not too sure, but. Oh, guys, you know what? I'm so silly. I don't know why I was expecting to get, better performance out of this aircraft at this altitude. Look, there we go. Already we're climbing significantly more, so probably just go ahead and lean kind of just roughly here, because that's actually 15,000 there. Holy cow. Yeah, I just hadn't even thought about leaning the mixtures. It just didn't even cross my mind. Usually I just kind of leave them full rich, until we get to cruise. I bring them back to full rich. Now we can actually bring the props back. So there's 2,000 RPM, throttles are against the firewall, and now let's do lean find. Start with the right engine. Take care not to lean it too much because I don't want to accidentally bring it into cutoff. Okay, there's peak EGT, and then we're gonna actually try to lean to rich of peak because we want the extra power. Let's see what that settles out on. 9.5 gallons per hour. It's about 24, 25 degrees, ridge of peak. Is that going to settle out there about like that? I think it is. Right, sweet. Now we'll do the same on the left. About ridge of peak. Obviously it's not going to be perfect. There's a couple of peaks over there that are a little tall, but for the most part, you know, we should be above most of this terrain. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Everything's looking good still. Oil pressure, oil temp, fuel flow. Yep, everything's looking good. Over to Malargüe approach, 125.39er, error star 2 Sierra Bravo. Malargüe approach, error star number 702 Sierra Bravo, at flight level 150.
Aerostar November 702 Sierra Bravo, Malargüe approach, identified. Good afternoon. Expect the visual runway 09er approach into Malargüe.
We'll expect the visual runway 09er into Malargüe. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, thank you. Just get that loaded up here. So obviously just does not even have runway 9. So I guess the real question is, what's the discrepancy? NAVIGRAPH has the runway 9, so it's probably just magnetic variation issue. But then it's interesting that GPS has runway 10. Looks like runway 10 or runway 9 or whatever was actually closed. So we should probably take 14. So let's see, they said 09 or so, it'll be 10 degrees less, so 13. Try for 13. Malargüe approach, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Any chance we could get the visual runway 13 approach?
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, runway 13 not available. Expect visual runway 09er approach.
Alright, we'll expect the visual runway 09er approach, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. The runway's closed, but I guess we shall see when we get there, I guess. That's kind of the fun aspects of doing these kind of flights, is that we, we're not familiar with these airports, with this area, so I'm just gonna kind of see how it goes. And that'll be that. Tough descents here, but honestly, we probably are going to have to do some interesting flying to be able to descend to the airport. Let's see, airport elevation is 4,000. 6,669 feet. And honestly, we might actually have to climb a little bit to get up over some mountains ahead of us. So, you know what? 17,000 might have been accurate. That might be 100% on me and not on Say Intentions. I just did not see anywhere on the charts that I would need to climb, or I didn't see any mountains listed on there that were over like about 14,000. So maybe I just didn't look closely enough. 12,717, 11,277, 12.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Descend, flight level 110. Turn left, heading 105 vectors for the visual runway 9er approach. QNH 1020.
Left to 105, and we're unable to descend currently to flight level 110 due to terrain for Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Okay, so I think maybe this is a little bit of a visual illusion potentially, because everything I see on the charts is listing these ahead of us. 11,200 feet, 12,4, 11,2, 12,7, 12,7.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Descend altitude 6,000 feet. QNH 1020.
Okay, but we can't. We just can't. Unable at this time due to terrain. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Understood. Maintain altitude 6,000.
Unable to descend to 6,000 at this time. We need to maintain flight level 150, and we'll call you once we've cleared terrain. So hopefully that prompts it enough that, I'm gonna let it know once we can descend. But yeah, maybe we could have descended down into this valley and then popped out. I'm not too sure, but that's not necessarily what they were wanting us to do. So approach is not active. Yep. 30 miles.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Descend altitude 5,000 feet.
Descend again. Unable to descend to 5,000 feet at this time until we clear this terrain. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Maintain present altitude until clear of terrain. Advise when ready to descend.
Nice little pond or lake down there. Alright, we should be able to descend. Hopefully once we crest this mountain right here. So I think that's our last little obstacle here. Malargüe approach, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, we're ready to begin our descent.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, descend altitude 5,000.
Descending to 5,000, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Alright, really gonna start cooking on this. Been monitoring the temperature, it got really cold. Pull the heat all the way on, see if we can't get it warmed up. And we're going to try to get a good rate of descent going here, but at least 1,000 feet, hopefully closer to 1,500.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, descend altitude 4,000 feet, turn right heading 135.
Right to 135, down to 4,000, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. I'm going to bring the power back. This is like 11, 12 inches manifold pressure. So we can start bleeding off, well, I say bleeding off some speed, but basically so we can keep descending without picking up too much extra speed. I believe, is that the airport right here, or is this out here? Okay, no, it's gotta be out here. Maybe this is it right here. I mean, we're 10 miles. I don't think we're gonna be able to descend this quickly. As we slow down and get flaps out, let's try that actually. Because flaps, first bit can come out below 175. I think it's like 150 something, so if we try to level off a bit, and we'll just bring the throttles all the way back.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, 7 miles from the approach turn. Turn right heading 140, cleared for the visual runway 9er approach.
There we go, sorry about that folks, we had a slight controls issue. Gear coming down. Flaps. Now, what did air traffic control say? Say again, please, for Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, contact Malargüe Tower on 118.25. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, contact Malargüe Tower on 118.25.
Right to 140, cleared for visual. Okay. Malargüe Tower, 118.25, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, thank you. Now we're really slow, but we need to be at like 4,000 feet, so that's fine by me. Direct to switch this back to GPSS and let it fly us into that waypoint. Alright, mixture's rich. Do the approach checklist. Circuit breakers, yep. Hydraulic pressure looks good. Fuel selectors are good. The quantity's good. Pressure's good. Gears down, mixture's full forward, props are good where they are. Fuel pumps on. was supposed to be at 4,000 feet. No, that can't be right. 4,000? The airport elevation's higher than 4,000. Okay, we're gonna level off at, let's see, 50. We're gonna level off at about 6,000, so. Yeah, this is way too low. Boy, oh boy. This episode is going to be something. 5,500 for this waypoint, it says. Malargüe Tower, Aerostar number 702 Sierra Bravo. We are inbound for the visual, runway 10 approach.
Aerostar November 702 Sierra Bravo, Malargüe Tower, Roger, continue visual approach, runway 10.
Continuing approach, runway 10, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, runway 09er, winds 160 at 13, cleared to land.
Clear to land, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Okay, 5,500 at this final. Got the runway in sight. Runway right here. Got a nice long one here, but apparently they want us to use the shorter one, so it's alright by me. Sorry for the bit of a harrowing descent there. That was those control issues really got me behind the airplane. Basically what happened was controls kind of froze up. I don't know if it's the USB port, like kind of put the power, you know, suspended it for power or what, but basically the sim wasn't detecting my control inputs. So I basically set I unplugged and plugged in the USB for those controls, and it seemed to fix it. So we're going to do autopilot master off. Laps are full. Fuel pumps are on. Mixture's full rich. RPM throttles are set. Speed's looking good. Oh, landing lights should come on. Should have been on a while ago, but that's okay. Clear to land. It's good to know. Tower off to the left, shouldn't be a factor. Some trees though, so I have to come in a little bit high. Start bringing the power to idle.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, welcome to Malargüe. Taxi to stand parking 1 at your discretion, stay on this frequency.
Taxi to parking 1 at our discretion, and we'll stay on this frequency, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Alrighty, let's spin it around here. Flaps can go up. Fuel pumps can come off. Right. Runway strobes can come off. Landing lights off. Mixtures lane, fuel pumps are off, strobes are off. Just to make sure trims are neutralized here, which they are for the most part, that's fine. And since I don't really know exactly where the parking positions are here at this airport, we're just going to taxi over here. Alright. Set the parking brake. Right. Parking brake set, radios are off, transponders off, autopilot master's off, radio master's off, alternators and master come off. Right, all our lights coming off. Headphones are unplugged. Mags go to off. Turn off the hydraulic valve here. Blower and the fan can go back to off. And we're good to get out. Alright everyone, welcome to Malargüe, Argentina. That'll do it for this episode. If you guys liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate that. Lets me know that you like the video, that you like what I'm doing here. If you want to leave any feedback, questions, concerns, etc., leave them in the comments below. And if you want to be up to date every time I release a new video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell, that way you get notified every time I post a new video. But yeah, with that, that'll be the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for coming along on this journey with me, and until next time, stay safe and happy flying.